Morning, all. Yes, so we're going to start with the news of the day video today. And I'm wearing Nordiques because we may see this jersey being worn this season by the Avs. The other thought I've had is maybe they'll just use the colors. Maybe we'll just get an Avalanche jersey in these colors. Maybe it won't be Nordiques at all. Since we haven't had a confirmation officially yet, sure. And there's a lot of speculation out there regarding what jerseys are coming back and what jerseys are coming in and what they might make, and it's a fun time. I'm actually looking forward to the NHL officially releasing what's coming, because again, if every team's gonna have a what we're terming fourth jersey, I'd like to thank Aesthetics for coming up with that name, because I don't know what else we'd call it, but basically fourth jersey. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of speculation, and yeah. Anyways, the other reason that I want to talk about the Avs is because they've announced that the Pepsi Center is no longer the Pepsi Center. Sadly, this doesn't mean, I saw a comment right away, does this mean I can finally get a Coke when I go to an Avs game? No. Apparently, it's just going to be Pepsi in the arena. I apologize to Avs fans everywhere. You'll have to smuggle. I don't think I can say that. Oh, that would so get demonetized. Okay, so your Coca-Cola products, you'll just have to get them somewhere else, and yeah, and maybe consume them before you get into the building, or find a way to get the Coca-Cola products into said building, unless they just allow it. I don't know. Is Pepsi Center like a movie house, where movie theater, where you go in and they make sure you're not bringing outside food and drink? Is it like that? Anyways, all right. It's going to be called Ball Arena. So yeah, it just keeps coming, doesn't it? I kind of thought, Ball Arena, I might want to pause, because there's a lot of. So when they wear the Nordiques jersey, it's Blue Ball Arena that night. Like it is the gift that keeps on giving. And during 2020, we need this. So regardless of whose idea it was or why, and I understand with corporate partnerships it's going to happen. Like, to me, Pepsi Center sounded weird in the beginning. I was like, that's a bizarre name. But, we get used to that name, right? Rogers, you get used to that name. And then when it changes, you're like, oh, but when it becomes Ball Arena, that just. I can't wait for the remarks. I can't wait for the comments. And as much as it's likely going to be fans and people in YouTube comment sections, I don't think the media is going to be able to resist that either. I'm seeing some headlines, I'm seeing some commentaries in my head, and I'm down for it. Thank you, Colorado, for making me smile this morning when I was looking at my phone. I'm like, I've got to cover that. Got to. Now, oh, I forgot an E in there. Let me just go ahead and. This is what happens when I'm hurriedly writing on the board, right? Secret, the company that makes the deodorant. Yeah, they donated $1 million to the Professional Women's Hockey Players Association. Now, it is the largest donation that they've received. Remember, this is still going on. So while 2020 is going on and the NWHL is trying to find a way to exist, well, the Professional Women's Association is trying to find a way to exist as well. And we can discuss how many owners are losing millions of dollars, who have billions of dollars, and how many players who have millions of dollars are sitting right now. Women's hockey players don't have that kind of money, so this is crippling for them. The plan is to continue the tours in early 2021 that they were doing last year, which were very successful stops. The tour itself was very successful, and I think it raised the visibility of women's hockey in general, and I think that's where it's at. But we'll see how that goes. That $1 million is going to go a long way to helping them out. So, good on Secret for helping them out. I also wanted to throw in the Arizona Coyotes. We're throwing an ad up for this, so I thought, sure. If you go to the Arizona Coyotes NHL page, they have virtual hockey school is open. It's $19.99 a month. Now, for me, I'm 47, so the idea that, well, why doesn't Shannon play hockey? Look, I'm 47 years of age. I'm older than some of these retired hockey players. Like, I'm not getting out a pair of skates. So $19.99 US a month. Tuesday and Saturday there will be lessons. This is all virtual, of course, the virtual lessons. They have daily workouts, skill and drill videos. They have a mindset coach, other aspects of it as well, and they have a free 1 week trial. So for $20 a month, if you, or let's say you're old enough to have a teenage kid that's bored at home and they like to play hockey, there you go. Looks like they use green screens and the virtual ice surface that is common at Pro Hockey Life sells it. I know that. And I've thought about getting that myself. I have thought about turning our front yard into a makeshift ice surface. And I don't mean the actual yard, but the driveway. That's the word, driveway. Brain's waking up. Eventually it'll wake up. It'll be fine. So yeah, that's kind of a fun thing. Also kind of fun, if you're Connor Brown, you just made another $10 million. He signs a 3-year, $3.6 million a year contract with the Ottawa Senators. This avoids arbitration. So look for this to be happening a lot where guys who are supposed to go to arbitration don't. Arbitration, I've said it before, it's not a great process, and it is in the best interest of the player and the team to avoid it, which we saw with Mikheyev in Toronto, and now we've seen it with Connor Brown in Ottawa. So we'll see. Interesting signings that came out this morning and yesterday. Yesterday, Drew Shore signs a contract with Carolina. Drew Shore came in and he played some games for Vancouver, and I remember when he came in, and it was one of those emergency signings during a down year, and he wasn't bad. I thought he played well enough. I think he played like 14 games for Vancouver. But I thought he did well enough, and I'm glad to see him come back over to this side of the pond and get a chance to play. And Antoine Bibeau has signed on, so there's your number 3 or 4 goaltender. If Nedeljkovic is going to be number 3, Bibeau becomes number 4. And of course, he's known for being one of the many goaltenders to come in and out of the Toronto system along the way. Jonas Siegenthaler has re-upped with the Washington Capitals, 1 year, $800,000. It is a raise of about, I think, $80,000 over what he made last year. Not too shabby. So, again, the restricted free agents are being signed. I don't expect a lot of arbitration awards. Just think back to Jacob Trouba and how ugly that got, and a lot of it had to do with arbitration. And yet there's also the fact they had to go to arbitration. They couldn't agree on dollars. They couldn't agree on term. And it just got ugly. Speaking of, the divorce between Max Domi and the Montreal Canadiens, I think there's more to it. I get the feeling that we're going to get some stories out of this. Claude Julien has stated now that Jesperi Kotkaniemi and his development drove Max Domi down on the depth chart and made him expendable for the team. Now, what's interesting to me is that a lot of teams realize you can't have too many centers. So I think it's interesting that instead of Montreal saying, well, we could maybe try Max on the wing, they instead decide to go the trade route. So I'm wondering if there's more to it than this. I'm wondering how contentious talks we're getting. I'm wondering if there wasn't some sort of a broken relationship between Montreal and Max that was brought out by the contract negotiations. Like, I'm wondering, and again, it's possible everything's fine, that there wasn't anything going on there, but it feels to me like maybe there is. When you've got your former coach saying, yeah, you were expendable, it's an odd terminology. But again, he may just be, a little more honest in this interview than we might normally see coaches being. So we'll see. But again, I don't necessarily know that there's closure to this yet. I'll be interested to see if that first game against Montreal as a Columbus Blue Jacket, if there's anything between Domi and the Habs. If there's a member of the Habs that maybe he didn't get along with in the locker room, we never heard anything about, and suddenly they dropped the gloves. That's what I'm going to be interested in, because it just feels like there's a little bit more to this than just the trade, but what led up to it. So anyways, there you go. I also wanted to throw into this video, we are 71 days away from the start of 2021. And that's when the NHL's tentative start date is. So that's 10 weeks from tomorrow. And I'm very surprised we haven't already seen discussions between the NHLPA and the NHL, because the logistics of having a season, it's tough. And we're seeing in the NFL, they've had problems. Major League Baseball had their problems at the beginning. They got that ironed out. And I've been watching baseball the last week or so. And not only that, but posting baseball reviews on the other channel, because sure, why not? It's 2020, why not? Shannon's posting baseball game reviews, the other side of the apocalypse. So, yeah, we got 71 days until the NHL's tentative start date. We'll see if that's where it ends up. And of course, we're 40 days away from December 1st, which is when they were initially looking at having the season start, but they realized that was a little bit too close. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I'll be here to report on it when something changes. And I'll also be here to report on when all the new jerseys come out. And of course, I've talked about the jersey countdown I did in 2019 that I didn't do this year, and that was an annual thing. I did the jersey countdown, and I skipped it this year because I didn't feel like there was enough change, and I felt like I needed to go through and reevaluate the collection and all that. But once these new jerseys have been released and I've added them to the collection, then I can start toying with the idea of doing a countdown. And if the season doesn't start on time in January, it becomes far more likely that I actually do that countdown because that'll give me a nice number of videos. This time I would try to have 10 jerseys per video. So it'd go on for a bit. And for people who don't know, I do have a file like on Google Drive that I've shared. I shared it with patrons. I can't remember what level it was. I don't remember if it was the entry level or not, but I did share it on Patreon. Which is like a photo of every single jersey, and it automatically updates the drive every time I get a new jersey and take a photo and upload it because they're all going into the countdown together. So it's kind of interesting, and it gives people an idea of what I have and what I don't and that kind of thing. But it's going to be an interesting off season because we don't know how long it's going to last. So might be a nice long off season. I'm also planning on doing a NHL 21 live stream today. So I don't know the exact time yet because since we have 3 kids and it makes your day very, very difficult to plan out. I got off to a start a little bit earlier this morning. I want to do it earlier in the afternoon. So I'm going to guess about 1 o'clock Pacific, but it may end up being a little bit later. Again, it depends on when kids get their schoolwork done, and it depends on my wife's schedule as well. So there you go. I'm planning on doing an NHL 21 live stream. Hope to see you guys there. And I'm doing franchise mode as a GM of the Canucks because that's kind of what I do. And I'm curious about the 2020-2021 season. And again, if it's a long off season, then I can go in and do franchise modes of other teams. And as for the whole be a player thing, I mean, I'm interested in it. I don't know that I'm interested in doing live streams with it because with the amount of question and answer, that kind of thing, it would be far more likely that I would just take a video of myself playing be a player and then just post it, and it wouldn't be a live stream. But again, we'll see what happens. We'll see how long the off season is. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Ball Arena or anything else you want to discuss. And I'm aware that every time we talk about Ball Arena, there's going to be those people who are chuckling at the name Ball Arena. If it makes you feel any better, and not only that, it's pretty close to ballerina, isn't it? Oh boy. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, yeah, I heard it, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like ballerina. Oh boy. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget male ballerina. It's a ballerina. Anyways, all right, never mind. Just strike that. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. 168,000 the channel has passed, which is a ridiculous number. But hey, we can get it higher than that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.